Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this week by week video I'm going to show you how to grow broad beans, from sowing, through the growing weeks, and then ending on harvesting this tasty crop. They're frost resistant, low upkeep and pest free, which makes them great for beginners and easy for those with more experience. We start our diary in the first week of November and sowing our broad beans into cell trays. I'm going to use cell trays for two reasons. Firstly, winter's coming soon and I'm going to want to keep these trays in a frost-free place, and secondly, I've just covered the garden in manure and I'd rather not sow directly into that before it's broken down. Sowing into cell trays also allows you to get crops going before the ground is ready. It may be frosty and hard, or it may have something else growing in it. Fill the cell tray with either a sowing mix or an all-purpose compost. We don't want any air holes in these cells as it will impede on the growth of the seedlings, so gently firm the compost down. The Sutton variety of broad bean are great for growing over the winter, and they'll be ready to harvest around early summer. They taste delicious and can be eaten raw, which is great for salads in the warmer months. They also only grow to around half a metre tall, so they're quite compact and they're not really bothered by many pests. Push one bean into each cell and any remaining beans can be stored in a cool, dry place for a year or two. Cover the beans with some more compost and gently press this down again. This improves soil to bean contact and will speed up germination. Lastly, give this a good water, even if your compost is damp already. Add a label and pop them in the warmest spot you have for germination. I'm going to keep these outside for their whole life cycle as they can rot when started indoors. This also highlights how easy they are to care for too. All of that happened in week 1. Now moving on to week 2, we can see that nothing has happened yet. They can take a few weeks to push out of the soil, so don't panic. As it's cold outside, you shouldn't need to water these for a while yet. We can see the start of germination at week 3, and the tops of the cells are starting to bulge up a bit. Germination is in full swing by week 4. Sit the cell tray in a tray of water for 15 minutes if the compost is starting to dry out. The leaves are starting to unfold by week 5, and the seedlings will start to push roots down into the cell. Week 6 shows the seedlings starting to grow new leaves. Ensure the compost doesn't dry out as they'll now be taking up much more moisture from the soil. More leaves are developing over the next couple of weeks, but most importantly, the seedlings are building up a really strong root system, which we'll see shortly. It's almost time to transplant, so make sure the area in which you want to transplant is clear of weeds. We transplant the seedlings when they're about this size. Some are taller than others, but so long as the leaves have unfolded, they're good to go into the ground. Transplanting is fun, but it's cold at this time of the year, so put on a jumper and grab your hand trowel and your seedlings. Dig a hole in the soil and try to make it the same width and depth as the root ball of the seedling. Removing seedlings from their cell tray is my favourite bit. Place your hand onto the surface and surround the stem with your fingers like so. Don't pull on the seedling, you won't need to and you'll only risk damaging it. Instead, gently squeeze the side of the cell to loosen it. Turn it over and catch the seedling as it slides out of the cell, like so. Now take a good look at the roots while you're here. The seedlings have put a lot of energy into growing down into the compost. If the roots are thick and white, the plant is healthy. If the roots are very tangled, then they could have gone into the ground a little sooner. If there are fewer roots, or worse, no roots showing at all, then the plant is not ready yet for transplanting. Either way, we've learned something valuable for next year. Place the seedling into the hole and press it down at the sides so the top of the compost is level with the top of the soil. Try and make the holes a couple of hand widths apart to give the seedlings plenty of space to grow into. Repeat until all of the seedlings, which are ready to be transplanted, are happily in the ground. Unless you're expecting lots of rain, give these a good water. It washes the soil around the roots and reduces transplant shock for the seedlings. Now over the next couple of weeks you may start to worry that the seedlings are unhappy because they don't look like they're growing. Don't panic, they're just recovering from being transplanted. This is common and affects all plants when they're moved from one place to another. They'll be focusing all of their energy on putting down new roots to make the plants stable and to gather as much nutrients as possible. Broad beans aren't bothered by many pests, and there are plenty of rainy days at this time of the year, so you shouldn't need to do much. During week 14, we had snow in the southeast. Broad beans are frost hardy and won't be phased at all by being covered. Over the next 4 weeks, the broad beans are growing on well. Weeds will start to become a problem, so make sure the area around the plants is clear. Give them a good water if the soil starts to dry out. From around 20 weeks, the first flowers will start to develop. The broad beans will love the extra sunlight hours. More leaves will start to grow, the stem will become taller, and the plants will start filling in their growing area. You don't need to support the stems, and I won't, so you can see that they'll be fine. If you want to keep the plant neat, you can put a bamboo stick in the ground next to it and loosely tie some supports to the stem. And that brings us to week 30, when we can start to harvest the first crops. Similar to when you harvest greens and leaves, try to harvest equally across all of your plants, and harvest the largest first. You should harvest the beans when they're ready, even if you're not going to use them right away, so we can divert energy into growing the new beans and more flowers. Harvesting is easy, but it's also easy to get wrong. The stem of the plant is very weak, so don't pull the beans off or you risk snapping the stem. Instead, twist them, like so. Harvest what you need and remove any damaged beans. The largest and most developed beans are at the base of the stem and will harvest up the plant over time. I like to come back a few weeks later to show you what happens when you harvest a plant over time. As you can see, I've harvested about halfway up the stem already, and the plant's energy is now going into these newer beans up at the top. And that's how you grow broad beans. Thank you for sticking with the video. This is the longest diary I've made so far, and I tried to keep the video as short and to the point as possible. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me, and a special welcome to both Jane and Winter, who have become the newest supporters of the channel. There's links in the description to where you can find more information about growing broad beans, and some useful tips and tricks. And here are a few other videos which you may be interested in. Thank you and happy growing.